Hey gang, I'm back with another video for you today here on my travels, and I just recently picked up a bottle of the new Guerlain Shalimar L'Essence, which I've been anticipating. Oops, turn it around there. And I've been really, like I said, anticipating for this fragrance, and I finally have my hands on it. I haven't got my nose on it. And this was announced earlier this year, but since 2021, Guerlain's been doing these Millésime fragrances, and there was a Millésime vanille, or is it vanilla? Vanilla Planifolia, I believe. And a lot of people said that this is kind of similar to it from what I heard early on when this was announced, or when there was talk about it. And so I haven't got my nose on the Vanilla Planifolia from Guerlain, from the Shalimar Millésime series. So I'm very curious to get my nose on this. But I was a big fan of the Tonka, Millésime Tonka, that came out in 2022. The Vanilla Planifolia came out in 2021. So the Tonka came out in 2022. I believe the Iris came out in 2023, and last year in 2024, the Jasmin came out. And this is the L'Essence. This is Shalimar L'Essence, and it's 100 years after the launch of the first Shalimar fragrance in 1925. So this is a 100-year anniversary fragrance, and I'm really dying to get my nose on it, and I'm gonna check it out. So I was at Marionnaud. It's a perfume shop chain in France, and they had 30% off sale there. So I thought that was a great deal to take advantage of this fragrance, because in the States, it's a 90 ml bottle. It's retailing for, I believe, $175, but in Europe, in France, I paid 172 euros minus 30% off. So I think it was around 120 something euros. And there's also tax back on this. So it'll end up costing me about around 115 euros once I'm back in the States. So if you've gotten your nose on Shalimar's L'Essence, let me know, add a comment below. What are your thoughts on this fragrance? So I'm not wearing any fragrance, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pause the video and come back after I test it out, shoot another video, so I will mention how the fragrance is progressing on me as I'm shooting the other video. And I'm gonna air the videos back to back, so you can go back and forth to learn more about how the fragrance is progressing on me. And then what I'll do is, after I shoot my second video, I'll do a follow-up conclusion on Guerlain's Shalimar L'Essence. So again, let me know if you've sampled this. What are your thoughts on this fragrance? Let's go ahead and open it up. But what do you guys think about this font and the design? I know from what I had heard, most people, not most people, but a lot of people did not like it. And I think what Guerlain's trying to do is bring this classic fragrance that's 100 years old into the modern days. So they're trying to appeal to younger generation, most likely. But what are your thoughts? Is it a bit too modern? Does it not connect to Shalimar? Do let me know, add a comment below. I think it's quite modern. I don't have a problem with it. It does bother me a little bit because it doesn't connect with the look and design of the bottle, because to me it looks very modern. But then again, I'm not hating it like I would hate other things, so it doesn't bother me. But for me, I do see why people might react to this, because it doesn't necessarily connect with the look and design of this very historic fragrance from a historic house, which I think maybe they're trying to get the younger generation to connect with their fragrances. What do you guys think? Do add a comment below. So I'm wearing my glasses, and they do get darker when it's bright and sunny out. So unfortunately, it's you can see it's gotten darker. But let's go ahead and test this out. But before I test it out, let me tell you the notes breakdown. We've got bergamot, rose absolute, iris, vanilla, ethyl vanillin, and then eventually it becomes ambery, leathery, and woody, because they're bringing out those kind of facets from the vanilla, which you can notice if you've ever smelled the vanilla bean. You've got those kind of, it'll smell leathery, for sure woody, of course spicy as well. And eventually this will most likely be spicy, powdery, lightly floral, a bit fresh on top with the bergamot, and of course very ambery and vanillic. So let's test it out. I'm not wearing any fragrance on. I'm really looking forward to it. So again, as I said, I haven't tested Vanilla Planifolia that came out in 2021, the Millésime, and so I don't have anything to connect to. Okay, so first off, it's for sure Shalimar. It's the DNA. And I don't have any of my bottles of the Shalimar collection here to compare this to, but right off the top, that is what I'm smelling, is that the original DNA is kept. I remember one time when I bought the Tonka, Millésime Tonka of Shalimar back in 2022, because the Vanilla Planifolia came out in 2021, the woman said it's a good thing you didn't buy it because it was too vanillic. I don't know if that's exactly the words she used, but she said you're not missing much because it was too sweet and vanillic. And I kind of would have wanted to get my nose on it, but sadly I wasn't able to. But as I'm smelling this and thinking of what she said, too sweet? Yeah, this is sweet. Yes, this is vanillic, but it's not unbearable. It smells pretty darn good. I can see the slight leathery touches in the back. For sure, the woodiness. I mean, I'm not saying that the leather and the woodiness is really, really strong, but there's lightness behind it that's giving me those kind of touches. It's for sure ambery as well. There's a little bit of a doughiness in here. Dough, kind of this texture of not syrup as much as doughiness, kind of like a firmer texture. It's for sure, I mean, it's got that doughiness, but it's also got a bit of syrupiness mixed in it. And I think that's coming from all the vanilla that's in here. But you'll for sure, actually, I should say it reminds me a little bit of this Middle Eastern dessert called halva. I don't know if you guys have ever had it. It's a sesame kind of a texture, sweet, and it gives me that kind of a doughy kind of texture, which is not a bad thing. I like it. It's sweet for sure. There's quite a bit of vanilla, and just going back to what the lady said, it's not unbearable. Like it's totally wearable. It's not super syrupy, you know, tooth-rottingly sweet kind of vanilla fragrance. So I like what I'm smelling. Let me wear it a little bit. As I said, I'm going to shoot another video right now. Throughout that video, I will give you my thoughts as I'm talking about the fragrances in that video. But right off the bat, I do like it. I like this. It seems a bit modern, but not forgetting the past. It for sure connects to the Shalimar DNA. And I didn't mention who created this. It's Delphine Jelk, who seems to be doing all of the fragrances for Shalimar. I mean, I'm sorry, Guerlain lately. I don't know what's happened with Terry Wasser. Is he stepping down? But as far as what I'm smelling here right off the bat with Shalimar L'Essence, I am digging. It for sure is something that I would totally wear. I like the way it smells. It's vanillic, it's ambery, it's resinous, it's got woods and spices. You know what? It's light on the flowers. I'm not picking up much of the rose, but I do get that freshness up top with the bergamot. All right, so I'm gonna pause the video here. I'm gonna shoot that other video. So I will mention in both videos that's what I've done today so that you can learn a little bit more about this in the next video, which is basically an upcoming slate of fragrances video. So new fragrances on the horizon. And within that video, I'll tell you guys a little bit more about this and then come back to this video and, you know, finish off this video and tell you my thoughts on Shalimar L'Essence. All right, guys, I'm finishing the video inside because it was getting really hot outside and the sun was just becoming a bit unbearable. So I've been wearing Shalimar L'Essence for about 2 hours now. It was between an hour and a half and 2 hours. And I was noticing while I was shooting the other video, which will be airing tomorrow, that this is not projecting as much as I would like it to. So they claim that the fragrance is Eau de Parfum Intense. It's acting more like an Eau de Parfum. I'm not saying it's loud. It doesn't act very loud. It's still going pretty strong here as I'm smelling my hand. It's kind of subdued. It's a bit close to the skin. It's a bit personal, not too much projection. And I've come to expect that from the designers or mass market brands. They don't release fragrances that are super loud. Guerlain doesn't have anything. I mean, are there extracts? They're really expensive extracts, really super loud. I think the vanilla might be, but this is definitely not. It's acting more like an Eau de Parfum, and I wanted it to be a bit more intense. Now, in comparing to a few of the other flankers. I mentioned in the video tomorrow that this does smell better than the iris and the jasmine. At least I like it more than the iris and the jasmine, but I still prefer the Millésime Tonka more. So I'm not saying this is part of that collection of fragrances, the Millésime series, which started with the Millésime Vanilla Planifolia, then we went with the Millésime Tonka, Millésime Iris, Millésime Jasmine. But if I do, I prefer the Tonka a lot more, which you sadly cannot get anymore. And I'm not sure if you can still get the Iris and the Jasmine. Those were selling quite a bit longer than the Tonka and the Vanilla Planifolia. But this would be my second choice if I'm adding it to that series of fragrances. I really love the Tonka. The Tonka smelled really, really super delicious. And it doesn't mean that this isn't super delicious. It is. It's a really great smelling fragrance. What I noticed also in the Drydown, which I mentioned in the video tomorrow, it's a video of new fragrances that are on the horizon. What I noticed in the Drydown, it became more classic than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was going to be a very modern offering, especially due to the fact that the label itself is a very modern label to me. It doesn't match the classicness of the OG Shalimar fragrances. Let me know if you like this label and let me know if you do not. Do you like the fact that it's more modern, or do you prefer to see Shalimar looking the way you're familiar with? I think they're appealing to, people that haven't experienced Shalimar. And if a young person that does not like classic fragrances, are they going to like this fragrance? Because for me, as it was drying down, as I said, it is smelling a bit more classic than when you first spray it. When you first spray it, it reminded me of the original for sure, but it smelled a bit more modern with the overdose of the vanilla. The vanilla is pretty prominent. And also, just to reiterate, I did get something syrupy ambery here, but also something doughy. I think it's the fact that there's iris here, the iris and the woodiness from the vanilla, giving it something a bit doughy. Like I mentioned, halva. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this sweet treat that features sesame in the Middle East. That's the texture it gave me as I'm wearing it, which is not a bad thing. But it's a bit of a letdown, sadly. Not a lot, just a little bit. And the 100-year anniversary fragrance, you expected to be something really awesome. And unfortunately, we didn't get that. Is it a bad fragrance? No, it's not. I do enjoy it. I do like the way it smells. It's my number 2 next to all the Millésimes, not getting my nose on the Vanilla Planifolia. So I recommend you try this one. I enjoy it. And see, maybe your experience is going to be different. Maybe you'll have a lot more projection than I do. And again, 1 hour, 1.5 hours to 2 hours, it's going strong, but it has gotten weaker on skin. It's kind of on its way out. And this is when, for me, it's reminding the most of the original Shalimar, the OG in Eau de Toilette. It doesn't smell as old, but it's reminding me more and more of it as it's drying down. So I think what I'll do is once I go back to the States, eventually back and settled, because after here, I do go to Shanghai. I'll be attending Notes Shanghai, guys. If you are in China and you are planning on attending, I'll be there. But once I go back, I want to do a overview of the fragrance Shalimar, 100-year kind of a video talking about how this fragrance has lasted for 100 years. And now, we're celebrating this 100-year anniversary of Shalimar with L'Essence. Anyway, those are my thoughts with this fragrance. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think? Are you looking to get your nose on it? And again, I'm not saying anything that it's a bad fragrance. It smells really, really great. It's just I prefer the Tonka a little more than this. I just love the way the Tonka smelled, and I'm a Tonka lover. I do love Tonka in fragrances, and what they did with the Millésime Tonka is bring out the Tonka parts about the fragrance, and it made it super delicious and slightly nutty, still kind of ambery and golden and vanillic and things like that. This is number 2. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have any questions or comments, please list below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Click that bell icon as well, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.